Ever since the release of Abel Raises Cain, people have asked me what my parents have been up to. Well, they're still living in that basement apartment, and they still have all their crap in storage. My dad is still doing his exercises every morning, and my mom is still making her miniatures. And of course, my dad has been busy concocting more crazy schemes. Like, hermaphrodites are people too, a group whose members demand the right to vote twice. And Concerned Colorblind Citizens, an organization formed to help those who have trouble understanding Homeland Security's color-coded terror alerts. He also teamed up with Esquire magazine on a satirical campaign to help fight obesity through a national fat tax. Instead of income tax, people would go into their local post office, weigh in, and pay a tax according to his or her body weight. Their slogan was, "The more you weigh, the more you pay." Sometimes these campaigns can lead to a call or an email out of the blue from a person looking to hire my dad as a PR consultant. In early 2006, he received an email from a guy named Joe Vitale, a Texas-based author and marketing guru.
I think he discovered my website and introduced himself, and then I went to his website and we became fast friends. We were soulmates, love at first sight, you might call it.
Joe had heard of some of my father's pranks and wanted to work with him on a special campaign to promote his latest book. He thought that a media prank would be a great way to get nationwide attention. Obviously, my dad's specialty is poking fun at sensationalized and overhyped news stories, but the added challenge would be for him to somehow link one of those stories to Joe's book. All they needed was the right story.
It's the biggest jackpot ever. The latest on the $365 million Powerball bonanza.
So far, we have one unclaimed winning ticket.
Netting somebody a record $365 million jackpot.
Lottery officials say the solo winning ticket was bought Friday afternoon.
Sold at the U-Stop convenience store in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Right now, the store is even going over surveillance video to try to spot the winner.
Who's holding that winning ticket, and really when are they going to make themselves known to the world?
The lottery was perfect. It was a big enough story to get major headlines, yet light enough for them to have fun with.
The media is fair game. They're looking for an unusual story, and if you launch your idea or concept in between the axe murderers and the serial killers, you're going to come away with a winner.
Unlike the New York lottery hoax that my father pulled off in 1990, the stakes were higher this time. Powerball was a nationwide lottery, and it was the largest jackpot in United States history, and there was only one winning ticket.
That weekend when the winning numbers were called and the winner was announced a few hours later in Lincoln, Nebraska, that's all lottery officials knew out there for Powerball. They only know by the numbers of the ticket what machine it came from and where that machine was located. And that's it, until the winner comes forward with the ticket, which is legal tender. And so no winner is going to walk down to this convenience store again and say, "Oh, here's the ticket. Can I have my $365 million check?" No way. Ugh, someone can grab it and run away and collect the money. So it's a very tenuous situation that keeps the real winner in hiding and allows for us to zero in on it and pretend that we won the money, but we better have it backed up with documentation and with somebody who can really convince those eagle-nosed journalists that we were the winners.
My dad quickly assembled a team. They had less than 24 hours from the time the winner was announced to jump into action. He flew everyone to Nebraska, where they rendezvoused in a hotel room to plot their attack.
Okay, here's our game plan. I think we should quickly go over that.
The idea was to present a fake lottery winner to the news media before the real winner came out. My dad hired longtime hoaxing pal Bob Pagani to pose as an unemployed truck driver claiming to have purchased the winning ticket.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's nice.
Bob was involved in a number of my father's media pranks over the years, including Omar's School for Beggars and the fake Idi Amin wedding.
So what's your name? Pagani is my real name. Just say Pagano.
Pagano.
Yeah.
Pagano.
They decided to change Bob's last name just in case, so so that no one would be able to link him to any of their past hijinks.
If we kept it close to my real name, any of my friends that saw me and recognized, they'd just think it was a mistake that the TV people made or something. You know what I'm saying?
My dad hired 2 more people to play Bob's family members. My friend Nancy agreed to play the role of Bob's niece, and my boyfriend Jeff pretended to be Bob's adopted son. He was also there to capture the whole hoax on tape.
But should I be estranged, or should I?
Oh no.
Okay.
No. You're
like, I wasn't sure if like I could be like the estranged son who all of a sudden like adopted, but show up like now he's one of them.
No, I would stay away from a soap opera because you're getting down that road now.
One thing they had going for them was that it was a national holiday, which meant that lottery headquarters were closed. So they knew the real winner couldn't come out at least until the next day.
Yeah, let me see some other notes real quick, and I think we've got to get rolling.
The plan was to attract the media's attention by paying for everybody's lunch at a local diner close to where the winning ticket was sold. There were 3 key elements essential to pulling off this charade. 1 was a photocopy of the fake winning ticket. 2 was a wad of cash to establish Bob's credibility as the lottery winner. And the 3rd item was a copy of Joe Vitale's book. As part of the hoax, Bob would tell the media that he picked the winning numbers at random from pages inside this book.
Let the show begin.
The hoax was officially set into motion the moment they handed the manager of the restaurant $2,000 and informed him that Bob had just won the $365 million jackpot, and he wanted to pay for everybody's lunch.
You're the one? Congratulations.
I haven't slept in through this.
I bet not.
48 hours.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it cool.
Tell me again what you'd like to do, sir.
We're going to pay for everybody's meals in here for the next couple hours.
So that's my son Jeff. Hi.
Jeff, nice to meet you.
Yeah, maybe a table.
Congratulations.
The manager, first to fall prey to the hoax, propelled things into action the moment he got on the loudspeaker and said,
Everybody that has a ticket on the floor right now, your meal is being purchased by our lucky winner. He is sitting over here at the middle table if you'd like to welcome him.
Congratulations. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you for the
Oh,
coffee.
you're welcome. That's okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
People in the diner were ecstatic. Bob became an instant celebrity and even signed a few autographs. To add to the charade, Bob and his phony family members randomly handed out generous tips to the waitstaff. Fooling the people in the diner was one thing, but they still had no idea if the press would take the bait.
Sweetheart, you have just made everybody's day around here, let me tell you.
These journalists have been around for a few years, and they've seen just about everything, and they're always very suspicious. They have to be. In journalism school, they learn, don't believe anything you see, hear, and read. Find out for sure. Do your homework. But they have deadlines, and they have competition. They want to be first with their newspaper, with their radio station, with their television outlet. So they're anxious to get it back to headquarters and file it correctly and quickly, which means that they could be sort of off guard, and we catch them that way. It was a slow news period. There was nothing really happening anywhere in the world, and they wanted something exciting. So I figured if we took our position in a restaurant only about half a mile away and announced to the people in the restaurant and the manager, here's some money, just pay the bill for all the food, that the word would get back to that convenience store. We didn't have to call, we didn't have to send a runner, nothing. Because Lincoln, Nebraska is a small city and everything gets around. You can't keep a secret there, really.
Within 20 minutes, the first reporter arrived. Upon examining the photocopy of the winning ticket, he was convinced and bought Bob's story hook, line, and sinker.
It's legit. I got it, yep. He's right here. He just bought this entire restaurant dinner. He showed me a photocopy of the winning ticket.
There was no way to know whether the media would pay attention, although I knew they were camped outside the convenience store where the winning ticket had been sold.
While Bob was in the midst of his first interview, a TV news crew showed up, and another, and then another, and then another one.
Now, if you were a reporter, you'd run right up there, and they all did, en masse. I was outside disguised, of course, because I didn't dare go in there and be recognized and blow the whole caper. But I saw these satellite trucks pulling up and taxi cabs and private cars. They were all descending. It was like the Alamo. That little restaurant was surrounded. There's always concern about the real winner showing up and really spoiling the whole charade. Now you're out of business. In this instance now, when we had somebody who pretended to win and did it very admirably, I must say, he was excellent. And he fielded all the questions from the reporters. But in the background, in my mind, there could be the winner or winners coming forward. But Bob, our man, was so good at saying, I won, I did it, here's the proof, I'm paying everybody's dinner, why would I do that? That the reporters were buying his story at that time.
Don't you want to do that? Doesn't everybody want to do that once in your life?
At one point, he was on the phone with producers from ABC News who wanted to fly him out to New York to appear on Good Morning America.
Gee, I don't know, can I go to New York tonight?
And throughout the media blitz, Bob spoke non-stop about where he picked the winning numbers from.
I had a book sitting on the seat in the car.
So the attractor factor.
I just opened it to pages and just opened it up to random pages and picked the numbers and wrote down the numbers. I mean, what's it? Random is random, right?
Oddly enough, what, 5 steps for creating wealth? Are you kidding me? You were reading this book already?
I was reading it and it was laying on the seat in the car. I just wanted to pick numbers. So
5 easy steps for creating
I know,
wealth.
isn't that funny?
They're all interested in unusual ideas. In fact, the more unusual, probably the better. I still feel that as long as you do something that's not criminal and doesn't hurt anyone, it's not physical, that you're in safe waters.
Before the frenzy got too out of hand, the team of pranksters made their quick getaway. The only question left was, did the media buy it?
An unemployed Omaha man claims he's the winner and even treated folks at a local Village Inn to breakfast to the tune of $2,000.
One guy walked into a local restaurant today, bought lunch for everybody, a $2,000 dinner bill, and said he had won the Powerball.
Breaking news, the big Powerball winner may have come forward.
Yeah, Action 3 News found a man who says he is the mystery millionaire. Action 3 News reporter Mary Nelson is live with the breaking story.
This could be a real rags to riches story. 54-year-old Bob Pagano claims he has the winning ticket. He was drawing unemployment before Saturday's Powerball drawing. So what about those numbers? He says he got them from The Attractor Factor, a book he was reading and had sitting on the front seat of his car.
I just opened it up and just picked numbers by pages. Because random is random, right?
Unemployed truck driver walking into a restaurant and paying everybody's bill is a good story, especially if he says he just won the big one.
15, 17, 43, 48, 44, 48, and Powerball 29.
The numbers that changed your life.
Yeah.
Despite rumors that workers from the local meatpacking plant had actually won the jackpot, their story was shoved to a back burner when Bob walked into the diner that day.
This is a pie that the gentleman ate.
It doesn't usually cost all those green bills to have the dessert special at the Village Inn.
This world is full of unusual people. We're just glad that he stopped in at the Village Inn.
Breaking news.
Well, Saturday's huge Powerball jackpot may have created what the Nebraska Lottery is calling the most elaborate hoax in its history.
We just heard from the Nebraska Lottery that Bob's picture is nowhere on that tape.
He said that he played 1 ticket. We know it was 5 tickets, and it was a quick pick.
Now, the talk around Lincoln is that 8 maintenance workers at a local food plant are the jackpot winners.
The caper officially came to a halt as soon as the real winners came out from hiding. My dad surrendered to the press, admitting that he was behind the charade.
The media is a wonderful, wonderful conduit to the outside world, whether you're selling a product or a service or an idea. And there's no harm in doing something that's just a little amusing. Gives you the last laugh.
Even though the main goal of the hoax was to help promote Joe Vitale's book, my father's overall message about the media came across loud and clear. I don't know what amazes me more. The fact that my dad is able to keep pulling off these hoaxes, or that the media keeps falling for them. All I know is that as long as they're out there chasing sensational stories, there will always be someone like my dad to give them exactly what they want.
The train had stopped, and my heart dropped. I thought I'd cry. She was with a guy. Feeling kinda lonely. I had this to gain. No ball and chain. No Mary Jane.